rescue those being led away to death, hold back those staggering towards slaughter. If you say, but we knew nothing of this, does not he who weighs the heart perceive it? Does not he who guards your life know it? Will he not repay each person according to what he has done? There are problems in the world that sometimes seem overwhelming. So much conflict and cruelty, so much violence. And at times, there's lack of moral clarity. We look across the span of the globe and we can't always tell who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. We don't always know what the proper course of action is. And so we're sometimes tempted to withdraw into our own private lives, our own private struggles and ambitions, our own private gardens. But this is not one of those times. Today, we know what is right, we know what is wrong. The slaughter of innocents is wrong. 2 million people driven from their homes is wrong. Women gang raped while gathering firewood is wrong. Silence, acquiescence, paralysis in the face of genocide is wrong. Those of us who occupy this building during the week are aware of what's going on in Darfur. If you take they too are against genocide, this administration unfortunately has been better than many European nations in acknowledging the facts on the ground, which is a sad testimony to what is happening around the world. But for all that, not enough has been done, and the facts on the ground remain the same. And over time, what happens is we get busy, and we get distracted. And the searing images of children being slaughtered and women being assaulted start fading from view. And we start worrying about gas prices, and we start worrying about elections, and the priorities start drifting down until we no longer recognize the moral urgency that's required. A friend of mine who's no longer here, named Paul Simon, served for a time in the United States Senate. And he said something that bears on today. He said, during the Rwanda crisis, he said, if 100 people in every single congressional district had written to their senators and written to their representatives, then the atrocities that happened there would not have happened. That means that the same thing that happened in Rwanda can be stopped if everybody who is here today goes forth and makes sure that you multiply yourselves all across the nation. That each of you are representative of not 100 people, but 1,000 people, and 10,000 people, and 100,000 people. Because I know that if we care, the world will care. If we bear witness, then the world will know. If we act, then the world will follow. A beautiful sight to be with so many who care so much about standing up against what is wrong, standing up and speaking out against the genocide in Darfur. Not on our watch. Not on our watch, right? I thank you all for being here, particularly my fellow New Jerseyans. Let's hear it from New Jersey. We here in New Jersey, we did have the first investiture law, and we're standing up against genocide every day in our state. God bless you. It is great to be with all that believe. We cannot stand idly by while our fellow man while our fellow neighbors' blood is shed. We cannot have that. It's not right, we know it. This rally and the moral voices of 100,000 across America speaking out today say it is time for us to stop the genocide. There can't be ambivalence. There can be no ambivalence. There can be no for 300,000 lives lost. There can be no excuse for millions desperately displaced. And there can be no excuse for unknowable numbers of men and women. Raise our voices, and you're doing that today. We must speak out, but we must act. Not just speak, but we must act. You're doing the voice raising. We politicians have to act. Make us act. The hour is late, and we cannot tolerate any more indifference around the globe. Genocide must stop. State sponsorship of genocide must end, and killers must be held accountable. 5 months ago, when I left Washington to become the governor of the great state of New Jersey, we were debating and talking about genocide in Darfur. Today, we are still debating and talking about Darfur. It is time for us to act. Now is the time. You speak up, and we'll make it happen. 2 years ago,